how to build a custom river in Minecraft, so let's get right into it. The first thing you want to start with is to plan the river. So I want it to start from this pond and end in that one. And we don't just want it to be a straight line, we want it to be an S shape. So I would recommend taking a shovel and starting maybe here. You want to mark the spot and make a 1 block wide path. So I'm wanting it to start right here. So I'm going to go 3 blocks diagonally, then I'm going to go 2 blocks to the side, and then 3 blocks, so it gets a nice shape. Then I want to go 2 blocks, not there, and then I want to go 2 blocks again. Then I want to go 1 block and 1 block again, then 2 blocks, and as you can see it is going right here, and I want it to take another turn and end up there. So I want it to keep on going in this direction, so I'm going to go 3 blocks, and then it is going to go down right here. So we're actually going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, a little bit longer, goes like that, and then we want it to turn. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 blocks. We don't want to go 1 block directly or just turn, because it doesn't look that organic. And then 2 blocks, and I would recommend 1 block. So you have this pattern on 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 5 blocks, and then you go down. So that's the pattern. And as you can see, we need it to turn quite much. So we're going to go 2 blocks directly, and then 1, 2, 3 blocks. And now we just want it to end up somewhere in between that. So we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. There we have it. Quite a good shape, I would say. You really need to get curves really good, because otherwise it won't look very good. So take your time with this shape. If you have a long distance to cross, don't make it as sharp as this in the turns, otherwise it will get really weird, because it will just be this shape all the way through. Next up is to decide if you want the river to just be 1 block thick, or if you want it to be 3 blocks thick, or even 5 blocks. I'm going to go with 3 blocks, because I think that fits the best in this area, because there are not as big these ponds, and otherwise it would look quite bulky. So I'm going to show you how to do this. First you want to take one of the sides and just turn the blocks into path blocks. All of the blocks that are directly in contact with the main path, just cover them like this, and it goes down here, so you go here. And we don't want to have diagonal turns, we want them to be like this, so they have corners. So we just build up and do it like this. There you go. Now we have a 2 block wide path, as you can see. And next step is to go on the other side and do the exact same thing. And it should look something in this style. Obviously you aren't doing the exact same shape, but something like this. If you just want it to be like this, as I'm going to do, then just keep like this. If you want it to be even bigger, then just do the exact same thing, expand on all of the sides. Next step is to dig it out, and here are quite important to not get wrong, because if you just have it 1 block, imagine this being the bottom block, then it's going to be something like this. So this is like the ground, and then you just have 1 block down as water. But if you have like 3 blocks, then you want to make this V shape. But then if you have even bigger, you maybe want to make it like this, or even like this. It all depends. You get the thing. If it's bigger, you need to make it deeper, otherwise it will look quite bad. As I said, we're going to make it in this shape, therefore we're going to need to dig down 1 block on each of these sides, and then 1 more block in the middle. So we're going to do that. So I would recommend starting at the middle and just dig, and you just dig in the exact middle. After you have dug out the middle block, you want to go around and actually look so you have marked out 1 block more in the diagonals, so you haven't just like 1 block diagonally like this, you actually need to build it out so it goes in this zigzag pattern. Go around and just check it. I have probably messed this up. As you can see here, this shouldn't be a block, so remove that and just go around. This one seems a little bit weird. I think it's this one. Next step is to dig one block further down in the middle. And as you can see, it is going into the river, so just remove this block too. And you can block this off so you don't get water in it, but just temporarily. Now we want to remove the blocks on the side right next to it, like this. And yeah, you just start doing that. Also remove the diagonals. As you can see, it looks a little bit weird. We just one block missing in diagonals. So just connect them, the lowest blocks on one side, like that. And then you can expand it a little bit, but not on all of the blocks, just on some. So you have it sticking out a little bit on some places. And when it comes to these places, when you have this part being higher up than this part, then you just want to level it out. So maybe remove some, because the water level is going to go right here. As you can see in this one, it's just going to be 2 blocks right here. So remove these, maybe add some extra blocks on this side. Just keep adding so you have 1 block at least going all the way through, except when there is a level change. Next step is to actually lower the whole thing by 1 block. Go through layer by layer, I would recommend, and just lower the whole thing. There we go. As you can see, I've lowered the whole thing. And now comes a little bit annoying part, which is we're actually going to replace all of these bottom blocks with coarse dirt. You can also mix up with some rooted dirt if you want. Just swap all of the bottom blocks with coarse dirt and rooted dirt. So you don't want to place them on top of each other, but you want to swap them. Now I have placed all of the coarse dirt and some rooted dirt, as you can see. Now come the fun part, which is to flood it. If you're doing this in survival, I would recommend creating an infinity water source with 2 blocks diagonally in a 4 block space like this. Then you can just take from this block, but if you're in creative, you just need to fill it. But take the water bucket and fill the bottom layer. You probably want to start at the bottom layer all the way down. I started up there right now, and don't do that. Start all the way down, because there's a shift in the height of the ground, as you can see. Therefore it will be easier to start down here. Start by filling the bottom layer on the bottom part of the river, and make sure that the whole river is filled, so they are all water source blocks. Before you start on placing the bottom layers, next part of the river, which is 1 block higher up, you want to go through and fill the second layer, because this is on the same level as the bottom layer on the second part of the river. So basically you just go level for level and do that for the whole river. One thing only is that it's going to go all the way up here, and this part of the river will end right here, because that's 1 layer higher up. Therefore it's going to flow down, and you don't want this type of weird. So I would maybe place a block and just shape the terrain a little bit, so there's a block right next to it. And yeah, make sure that the water doesn't go down here, because that also looks quite weird. I would just recommend placing some blocks and covering up the terrain. That's the easiest part. As you get up here, you do the exact same thing. And we have a block in the middle. Therefore we're going to build up and place a block. And yeah, this looks a little bit weird. Another solution to just changing the terrain around it is to actually either restrain the river, so you make it a little bit smaller, or you can also widen it a little bit, like that. In this case, I would probably widen it a little bit, because that looks a little bit better. And when you're done with this, just keep on filling the whole river. And look at that. That's the river, but it's not finished. Now we can actually open this up into these ponds, and remember to level it out so you doesn't have like a wall of dirt. Just level it out. Oh, and Yeah, something like that. And don't remember to do it on the other side. Next step is to go around and actually take some coarse dirt and rooter dirt and fill up the river a little bit, because right now it doesn't look that good when all of the blocks are 2 blocks high on the sides. Add some blocks where you think you need it. Next step is to actually decorate it, and we're going to keep the same theme as in this pond. As you can see, it's not that hard actually. The only thing that we're going to use is some mossy cobblestone, sea pickles and some bone meal. That's basically the whole thing. So let's start off by giving some light with some sea pickles and place them a little bit all over the place, but not too many. Next step is to take some mossy cobblestone slabs and just place them a little bit all over the place as the sea pickles. Don't place them in the middle, like if you would have a 3 block space and place it directly in the middle. Place it in contact to a corner or something like that. As you can see, we have placed some right here, and I think it looks quite fine and yeah, quite good. Next step is to go in with some bone meal, and yeah, just place some. You decide if you want a lot of bone meal or just some. I like it to be quite much, but not way too much. Everyone has their own balance when it comes to bone meal. Some doesn't like when it's 2 blocks tall. Last detail in the water, which is my favorite, and we're going to grab a boat, any boat that you want, and we're actually going to sink it. So find a place where you want to have a sunken boat. I would say like here, and then build up and place the boat, then place a block over it, and then you also want to, as you can see, the water is flowing and we don't want it to flow down, so something like that. And then you want to add the water on top of the boat, and as you can see, it will actually sink. Now we can just remove the water and all of the pillars, and can we just push it down to the bottom block? That would be nice. There we go. Yeah, it's a nice detail with a sunken boat. I really like it, but don't go overkill with it. It will look quite weird with a lot of sunken boats. Now we're actually going to come back with the coarse dirt and rooter dirt, and we're not going to build it in the water. We're actually going to work here on top of the land, right next to the river. What we're going to do is to make it a little bit muddy and replace the blocks right next to the river with rooter dirt and coarse dirt. The reason for this is to make it look a little bit muddy, because in a normal river the grass just don't start right next to the river. There is like a blending of some mud, and that's what we're going to do. As you can see, we have replaced all of the blocks with either coarse dirt or rooter dirt. As you can see, it looks a little bit weird, and that's because we haven't blended it. So what you want to do is to replace some of the blocks with coarse dirt or rooter dirt into the land, like 1 block from it. You can also place some path blocks, and that will sell the idea of it being a little bit muddy. There we go. As you can see, it's a little bit muddy around the shore. Some people doesn't like this look. I also have thought about you, so I'm going to show you one thing that you can do to remove this look if you don't like it, but still have some of it. What you want to do is to take some spruce fences, some spruce leaves and some 2 tall block flowers. Place a fence post and then cover it with some leaves so it looks like a nice little bush. And you can do this right next to the shore. And you can place some flowers right next to it. I'm going to dot some of them around here. And there we go. Here you have your custom river all finished with beautiful shore and some lovely bushes and decorations. I really like this, really recommend it. But if you have made it so far into this video, you probably like to terraform, and one thing that you always need if you're going to terraform things is to know how to build custom trees, and I do have a tutorial on 7 different custom trees right here to the right. Bye!